Hello, students, and welcome. In our last discussion, we understood what globalization is. But have you ever stopped to think, how did it all happen? Today, we're going to explore the key factors that made our world so very interconnected. Okay, let's dive in. Here is the roadmap for our lesson today. We will look at technology, we'll look at government policies, and also some important international organizations. You see, this rapid connection that we see all around us today, well, it did not happen automatically. It was actually the result of some very specific and very powerful changes.
So let's move to our first major factor, and the first, and perhaps the most visible one, is the rapid improvement in technology.
Just look at this comparison. For instance, in the last 50 years or so, we've had huge improvements in transportation. Things like these large containers have made it possible to deliver goods over very long distances at much, much lower costs.
Now, what's really interesting here is how information started moving even faster than goods. And this was all thanks to developments in communication technology. And this picture illustrates the point perfectly. Because of the internet and telecommunications, services like designing or printing or even customer support can now be done anywhere in the world and delivered instantly. So we see that technology connected the world. But for goods to actually move freely, government policies also had to change. Let's consider a question to understand this better. What can a government do to control which goods enter its country?
Well, this brings us to a key term you must remember, a trade barrier. It's basically a restriction, like a tax on imported Chinese toys, for example. It's used to regulate foreign trade and, very often, to protect the local producers.
For many years after independence, India had these kinds of barriers in place. This was a deliberate policy to protect our own producers who were just starting out and needed that support. However, around the year 1991, a major change in policy took place, as you can see on this timeline. The government felt the time had come for Indian producers to compete on a global level. This process of removing the barriers is known as liberalization. Essentially, it means businesses were allowed to make decisions more freely about what they wish to import or export.
Now, when so many countries start trading freely with each other, you need a set of common rules, right? This is where international organizations come into the picture.
The World Trade Organization, or WTO, is one such very important organization. Its main goal is to ensure that trade between countries flows as smoothly and freely as possible.
However, there is a very big debate about whether the WTO is truly fair. You see, the point of concern is that its rules are not always applied equally to all of its members. This question, which is often asked by developing countries, really captures the ongoing debate about fairness in global trade, especially in a critical sector like agriculture.
All right, let's quickly recap the main points of our lesson and see where this leads us next.
So these are the three key enablers of globalization that you must remember: technology, liberalization, and the role of the World Trade Organization.
So, we now understand the factors that enabled globalization. This prepares us for our next topic, where we will analyze the impact of globalization and discuss if its benefits have really been shared by all.